لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، عباد الله، اتقوا الله حق التقوى وتمسكوا من الإسلام بالعروة الوثقى، واعلموا أن أقدامكم على النار لا تقوى، واعلموا أن ملك الموت قد تخطى غيركم إليكم وسيتخطى إليكم غيركم، فاستعدوا له. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. My dear brothers in faith, all praise is due to Allah, the one who has guided us and the one who has made us Muslims. And the greatest pleasures that we have in this life is to call ourselves Muslims. Allah says in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. وَقَالَ إِنِّي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I am from those who call themselves Muslims. This is the best of speech. And our religion is the most important thing that we have in our lives. And it's the most important thing that we should seek to protect. Allah says in the Quran, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. Whoever seeks other than Allah, whoever seeks other than Islam as a religion, then it will never be accepted from him. Not only will it not be accepted from him, rather it will never be accepted from him. فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. So, in the times that we live in, we are in a constant battle in protecting our faith. An internal battle and an external battle. And this external battle, Allah mentioned in the Quran, of a group of disbelievers who want to take away your faith, who want to erase that thing that you're proud to call yourself from your life. And they want to erase it, if not from you, then from your children's lives. Allah says in the Quran, وَدُّوا لَوْ تَكْفُرُونَ كَمَا كَفَرُوا. They love that you disbelieve, كَمَا كَفَرُوا, just like they disbelieve. فَتَكُونُونَ سَوَاءً, so that you will be equal. Equal where? In the hellfire. This is the worst of hate. This is the worst of Islamophobia. The one who wants to suffer with you in the hellfire. So, if this battle exists, are you prepared for that battle? Are you prepared to protect your faith? A lot of us think that just because we call ourselves Muslims, it's a final call. Alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim, I'm going to Jannah, khalas. But we have to look at ourselves and give ourselves a critical thought. Some companions of the Prophet ﷺ thought the same thing. And Allah refuted them in the Quran. Alif Lam Mim. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do people think that they will just say, you believed, and they will not be tested? That you will not be tried in your faith? So today, I came here, and I thought to myself, what is the most beneficial thing that you can try to teach today? What's the most important lesson that you can leave behind in this member? So that every Muslim will have something to go back home with, something that he can ponder. So I thought to myself, why don't we talk about doubts? Doubts in our deen. doubts in faith. The first thing that we have to talk about when we're talking about doubts is what is their danger. And the single most important danger that they have is that they will take you out of your faith. And this is something that will lead to your demise in the dunya before the akhirah. And in the akhirah, you will be from the people that enter the hellfire. Allah describes doubts as a sickness in the hearts. Allah says in the Quran, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ. In their hearts, it's a sickness. فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. And Allah increased for them in sickness. So, the question stands, what are the sources of these doubts? Where do these doubts come from? We can say that they are external factors that are at play when doubts come to mind. And there are also internal factors. As for the external factors, things that are outside. Number one, in our time, social media. You go to Twitter, you see someone cussing Islam. You see someone mocking the Prophet ﷺ. You make someone mocking Salah. You see someone going against the most important tenets and parts of faith in Islam. You turn your TV on, in movies, you see people making fun of Allah Azza wa Jal. You see making people fun of the messengers of Allah Azza wa Jal. Cartoons. Your children are being exposed to all types of obscenities that you have never been exposed to. Cartoon characters are being given genders and sexuality. A 6-year-old knows more than you did when you were 6 years old. This is the ultimate test of our times. The other external factors that are at play, schools and universities. You go to that university class, first unit. Where do we get our morals from? Do we need God to tell us what's right and what's wrong? You go to biology. Does God exist? SubhanAllah. What an ultimate test for people that are young. If you are too old that Allah saved you from this, and that you're not exposed to this, say Alhamdulillah. But as for those of us who are still in this country, that came to this country as young people, or are seeking education in this country, then we are forced to watch this. And the problem with our youth is that they don't have the protection that is needed to fight against this. So after we mentioned what are the external things that cause the factors that are at play, there's also some internal factors that are at play in your heart that you did not realize, that cause you astray yourself. Yes, there's a battle on the outside, but what about the battle inside your heart? Number one, trauma. A person had a bad experience in life, and this leads him to leave the religion. You might be saying that is odd, but Allah mentions this in the Quran. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ. There's a group of people, they worship upon Allah in a harf. What does harf mean? The scholars, they said, like a cliff. The Arabs, they use harf to mean the cliff. In a mountain, there's a cliff. There's people that worship Allah upon that cliff. Just like a cliff, they worship Allah. فَإِنْ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ. If there's khair that happens to him, he's happy, alhamdulillah. So he stays on the side of the mountain, he stays on the cliff, right? And if something bad were to befall him, انقلب على وجهه. He falls upon his face. He goes back to whatever he was. Non-Muslim. If he's a Muslim, he will leave the religion. Why? I don't understand Islam. Why are all these bad things happening to me? Why me, Allah? Right? And this is only something that we can say we came here in this country. Blaming Allah Azza wa Jalla. Right? It's something that we found in this country. You turn a TV show on, the character is blaming Allah Azza wa Jalla. Why do you do this to me? And our kids have adopted this as an ideology. If Allah doesn't gift you good, then He doesn't love you. Right? And if Allah does something that you don't like in your life, then that means there's something wrong with Allah Azza wa Jalla. So trauma. The second cause of this is emptiness. A person who's completely empty in his life, doesn't have anything to do. What does he do? He goes online. He watches whatever he watches. I remember one young man came to us and said, I watch Sam Harris for 10 hours a day. Sam Harris, the well-known atheist apologist. 10 hours a day. This is a person that has a lot of time in his hand. One thing led to another, and now he's watching this kuffar until that same brother, he ultimately became an atheist. So Allah al-afiyah. So, what do you do with your time, and how you busy yourself also determines where your faith is going. The third cause is complete lack of connection with Allah Azza wa Jalla. If you lack any connection with Allah Azza wa Jalla, and you don't worship Allah Azza wa Jalla, and you are completely in sinning all the time, then in your heart will be a dot, a black dot. And it will go and go and go and go on until your heart completely becomes hardened with this black dots. To the point that you will be like those that Allah described, كَلَّا بَرَّانَ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. Now, so ikhwani fillah, without taking so much of your time, once you realize these external factors and internal factors, you will find out what the solutions to these issues are. But to go back to the original point, as Muslims, we dedicate our life to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And we dedicate our worship to Him. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. They belong to Allah Azza wa Jalla, the Rabb of the Alam. And 17 times a day we say, إِهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ. Consistently, oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. But what are we doing in seeking that great and righteous path? Are we taking any concrete steps? Or are we just wishing? بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بما فيه من الآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, إخواني في الله, as for how to protect yourself against the doubts, then the first thing that we should do is seek to establish yaqeen in our lives, certainty in our lives. And how do you do that? We do that by pondering over the creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah says in the Quran, إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. In the turning of the day and night, and the creation of the heavens and the earth are signs for those who are of intellect. And then he describes those who are of intellect. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا. Those who remember Allah standing and sitting, وعلى جنوبهم, and on their sides. وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And they ponder over the creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla. رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. Oh Allah, you did not create this in falsehood. You had a reason for creating this. You see how their pondering of Allah Azza wa Jalla led them to establish something, which is that Allah did not create this out of falsehood, that He created it for a reason. And Allah says, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم. We will show them our signs in the horizons and inside of themselves. حتى يتبين لهم الحق, until the truth becomes clear to them. Until the truth becomes clear to them. Now, So ponder over the creation of Allah. Go for a walk. Take a trip. Get out of the bustling and busy city life. See the creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And the second way of pondering over and establishing yaqeen is that a person ponders over the beauty of the legislation of Islam. That Allah not only created us, but He sent us a messenger. And not only did He send us a messenger, He found us ways that we can constantly connect to Allah Azza wa Jalla. 5 daily prayers that we pray. Fasting fasting a month in the whole year. Connecting with the poor. Giving zakat. And being merciful to the creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla. All these things are signs that show us that Allah is not only merciful, but He created us for a reason. And not only did He create us for a reason, but that Allah wants the best for us. The second way of protecting yourself against doubts is by learning a very important principle and applying it to your life, which is submission to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu dkhulu fi as-silmi kaffa. Enter into Islam wholeheartedly. Don't enter into Islam with one leg out, one leg in. Like the person that we mentioned who worships Allah on a cliff. But come into Islam completely. Submit yourself completely. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي. Say my prayer and my worship, وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي, and my life and my death, لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. It belongs to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Submitting yourself to Islam. Submitting yourself to Allah Azza wa Jalla completely. And learning 2 words. When you hear something that you do not understand from the Kitab and the Sunnah, what do? You submit yourself to Allah Azza wa Jalla. That is a worship that is required. You might not understand completely, right? There's someone obviously that knows this better than you, right? But at the same time, you don't have access to it. At that moment, what is the obligation upon me? You say, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. We hear and we obey. The third is by actively staying away from doubts. Don't venture in. Don't think you're too strong. Don't think my iman is very strong. I can watch all these different videos that are causing doubts in Muslims. I can watch it. I can deal with it. I can try to even refute it. Don't say that to yourself. And the example and the parable that I give is a man who has a bulletproof vest, right? Even if you have the vest, do you still want to get shot? Absolutely not. You don't want to test it out. Because there's a chance, no matter how slim, that bullet is going to go through that vest, right? So, actively staying away from doubts. This is something that Allah told His Messenger. وَقَدْ نَزَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الْكِتَابِ أَنْ إِذَا سَمِعْتُمْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ يُكْفَرُ بِهَا وَيُسْتَهْزَأُ بِهَا فَلَا تَقْعُدُوا مَعَهُمْ. And Allah has revealed to you in the book that if you see the verses of Allah being made jokes and mockery, then do not sit with them. حَتَّى يَقُولُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِهِ. Until they enter into a different speech. And then if you don't do that, Allah said, إِنَّكُمْ إِذًا مِثْلَهُمْ. Then you will be like them. You will be like them and go into the hellfire. You will be like them in being a disbeliever. The fourth thing that we should really seek is seeking knowledge. And knowledge is the best of protection. And the more knowledgeable a person is of Islam, the more unlikely it is that doubts can enter his heart. And this is something that is clear. The fifth one is making a lot of dua and seeking protection from Allah, that He protects you in your faith. Prophet ﷺ, he's the best of examples for us. He used to say, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dini. O turner of hearts, keep my heart strong in your faith. So what about us? How often are we making dua that Allah protects our iman and Allah protects our faith? My dear brothers, let's all work hard to establish this deen in our lives. Before we even try to propagate it to others, that we protect ourselves from the serious doubts, and we try to protect our children from the serious doubts. عباد الله اعلموا أنكم في خير أيامكم يوم الجمعة، وأفضل ما تتقربون في هذا اليوم الصلاة والسلام على النبي المصطفى. قال الله تعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد، وبارك اللهم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم انصر المسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وعافنا فاعف عنا. اللهم ارفع عنا البلاء والوباء والغلاء والفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. صلى الله عليه وسلم.